Welcome, everybody. My name is Arjun Roy, producer, recordist, mix engineer, coming at you from Better Than Fred's in Grande Prairie, Alberta, my hometown. This is episode 18 of a series of unedited conversations that I'm calling the Hometown Hustle. This deals with my artistic journey through the arts and music scene in the Peace Country and all of the people who helped me get where I am today. And today, this episode, I'm very pleased to welcome former bassist for area death metal band, Devolver, and former vocalist for Calculating Collapse, Shaun Streeper.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Shaun, welcome, man. I'm thankful for your time. I appreciate you coming to chat.
No problem.
When I thought of doing this thing, I don't know if it was anything more than just like a desire to do something with my time. But the more and more I chatted to people, there ended up being more people that I knew I had to chat with just for certain things. Mm-hmm. So for me, obviously, like No One's Alone was the band that I was in from like 2002 to 2005. Yeah. And it was all about Calculating Collapse from 2006 to 2009. Mm-hmm. And so, I feel like a very active portion of Calculating Collapse, you were the vocalist. So of course we had to chat on record. Shaun, when did we meet? What do you recall?
I guess at like the end of 2008-ish. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did we meet through band connections?
Yeah, I think we would have met like around the time I played the first show with the old band, The Sickness Within, that I was in with Jordan.
Right.
Yeah, that was like around December of 2008 or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, it was funny because in chatting with Jordan, I realized that John Jones was like the original singer for Sickness Within.
Yeah.
Because John was the vocalist in Calculating Collapse. And then,
there's a lot of overlap between the two bands.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
He was going to move, and so we brought Jason into the fold, and then John stayed, and it was, I love John Jones. He's a great guy, excellent vocalist, and I'm super happy for the time spent being Calculating Collapse. Mm-hmm. But then it was just super awkward because we had a new singer, and John, who we'd built up the band with, hadn't moved, and then The Sickness Within became the thing. And then how did you join the band, The Sickness Within?
So pretty much like you said, John was planning to move back to the East Coast.
Right.
And then he didn't, I guess. And then he was in The Sickness Within. And then he actually was moving back to the East Coast again.
Right.
So they needed to replace him with a new vocalist. And then I knew Jordan, Kyle, and Dallas through high school, basically.
Dallas. Right. Okay.
So they were, I think maybe Kyle was telling me about the band that he's in, and I went and watched their practice, and I thought, oh man, this is really cool. And then I think jammed out a cover song or something like that with them, and then they asked me to try practicing their songs with them.
Cool.
And then just went from there.
Yeah. Had you fronted a metal band before then?
No.
Did you vocally, metal vocals are a very specific thing. Was that something that you had been doing beforehand, or, how did you discover that you had that voice?
Yeah, I guess I was just listening to I don't know, Lamb of God and Children of Bodom in my parents' basement, and then yelling along with them in the car sometimes or something like that. And then it just went from there.
Cool. That's awesome. Maybe let's, from here, let's take it back sort of all the way, and then we'll kind of work our way back into the future, as it were. Yeah. Where were you born, Shaun?
So, I was born in GP here.
Oh, okay. Born and raised in Grande Prairie. Yeah. Your folks are here and everything.
Yeah.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Whereabouts? Was it the, I remember visiting you guys. Maybe everyone was barbecuing at, just outside of town.
Slightly outside of town.
That was the house you grew up in?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, cool. What did your parents do?
Just related to oil field, like many things in this town.
Of course. Totally. Do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I've got 3 older brothers.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't know that. Maybe I knew that you had siblings, but I didn't realize.
Yeah.
What do they do? Who are they?
Well, what? two of them live around GP, and one of them lives in Calgary, basically.
Okay. Gotcha.
And they're doing various stuff.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Okay, right on. What were you guys into growing up?
I don't know, just like, playing a lot of video games and watching The Simpsons and messing around outdoors.
Right,
those
of course.
Sorts of things you do.
Yeah. Was there like a musical element to your upbringing? Like did all of you play instruments, or, like how did that enter your life anyway?
Yeah, so like I took piano lessons when I was pretty young, but I didn't practice, so I was always bad at it. And then in like grade 8 or something, I started playing guitar and taking lessons at the old GP Music from Adam McDonald.
Who's Adam McDonald?
He was one of their guitar instructors there at GP Music for many years.
Got it. I feel like the name is familiar, probably because I heard it at GP Music, but I don't know if I know Adam McDonald. Anyway, cool.
And yeah, that's pretty much how I got my start with like being interested in playing like rock and metal.
Okay. Yeah. Did your folks play any instruments? Like, were there instruments around the house?
Not really. Okay. Well, yeah, there's a piano around, but like no one in my family could play it well.
Right. It wasn't like a musical family and everyone played. It wasn't like one of those things.
Okay. Not really.
Got it. Understood. So getting into music, who are some bands that you remember? One thing that I find interesting with these conversations is that it's always different for people. They might be into one kind of music, but what actually made them like sit up and notice music as an entity was something else completely.
Yeah.
So do you remember some of the early artists or bands or songs that kind of grabbed your ear?
I guess like one probably important like formative musical experience for me getting into like rock or heavy metal, or like the beginnings of that, was like we lived in Claremont for a year or two, and my oldest brother, when we were out there, bought the Metallica Black CD.
Oh, cool.
And
the Black album. Nice.
While we were living out there, I remember like listening to that CD over and over and over again, and that was kind of like the very starting point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song from the Black album?
Not really. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like the whole thing I've listened through like 1,000 times. Yeah.
Very cool. Who are some other bands that you got into after that? Like, did you pursue, like you enjoyed Metallica, so you went looking for more metal bands, or?
Sort of, yeah. Like after that, I got other Metallica CDs. After I started getting into guitar, I started getting like guitar magazines.
Oh, okay.
Reading through those, trying to buy CDs of the bands that I thought sounded cool.
Yeah.
From there, and then like, getting given burnt copies of CDs or like, MP3 CDs or whatever from friends of mine at school, those kinds of things.
Got it.
Yeah.
This would have been like mid-2000s, early 2000s?
Yeah, like mid-2000s,
okay.
I guess.
Got it. That's interesting, man. What did you have for a guitar? What did you learn? Or, what was your guitar at the time?
So basically it went from like a Fender acoustic, just like generic Fender Dreadnought style acoustic, to like Greg Bennett Samick, which is like a double cutaway guitar that looks a lot like a PRS kind of.
Right. Got it.
It's kind of like a cheapo PRS.
Gotcha.
I still got it, and it's not bad.
Right.
For the like $270 it cost at the time.
I hear you. I mean, my main axes are, Hamer Slammers.
Yeah.
So I understand that they work. Is it still stock? Did you do any mods to it? Did you replace the pickups or anything?
I put a DiMarzio X2N in the bridge, which is just way too loud. Like the neck pickup isn't very loud, and the bridge is just unnecessarily loud.
that pickup screams, shall we say. That is a hefty pickup.
I guess at the time I thought louder must be better no matter what, so just find the loudest possible pickup and put that in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did you have an amp at the time?
Yeah, it was just like a Fender 112 combo amp.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. So growing up either just outside town or like living in Claremont, were you like aware of other Grande Prairie area musicians? Like while you were getting into music, were you also getting into like music, or local music, I should say?
Yeah, so through like friends at school, I got invited out to a few like shows at the Gaiety, I guess.
Oh,
or
okay.
at like Howlers. Sometimes they put on all ages shows at that time. That was sort of the first like local concerts that I ever went to, or like concerts that weren't like, I don't know, country or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not sure if this has come up in these conversations before, but the Gaiety Theater.
Yeah.
For people, who don't know what that means, it was like a downtown building, like a fixture from like a long time ago.
Yeah,
it
was
used
like
to be
a really old downtown building that used to be Grande Prairie's probably first movie theater, I guess.
Okay, so it was a movie theater.
Yeah,
not
it
like
originally was actually a movie theater at some point.
Got it.
And then it stopped being the movie theater, and eventually they'd put on occasional like concerts or other events like that there.
Right. I remember moving to town, and the Gaiety Theater, or just the Gaiety as it was called, was that's where maybe I saw some of the first Grande Prairie like local band kind of shows.
Yeah.
There was a stage. It was a big space, and that's it. I don't know if there was anything else that would suggest that it was a theater aside from that. Like what were there?
They did have like theater seats. I think.
Okay.
Actually, my memory's hazy at this point, but I think they only had, when I went there, the theater seats left on the left and right side. So,
yes.
So they still had them going down the left and right side of the aisles.
Right.
And I think they had like a balcony as well.
They did. That's right.
And yeah.
Cool. It's funny because I can see it now. Like I remember, I have like memories of playing there, and I remember thinking that there were some people sitting down now and again.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember where they would sit down because in front of the stage it was all open, right?
Yeah.
But that makes sense if there were seats on the right and the left still. Okay. Cool. The Gaiety. Good times.
Yep.
Do you remember seeing, or do you remember what bands you saw at the Gaiety?
Yeah. So I saw some like real mainstays of the Grande Prairie music scene to this day. Like I saw Boy Charlie and Elijah's Tomb. So like,
okay.
Nathaniel Sturr and Al Peterson, some GP famous,
Yeah, absolutely.
music
man.
folks.
Stalwarts, shall we say.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had Al Peterson on this thing before. Nathaniel Sturr runs Dovefire Records. He has a studio out in the country, and a bunch of us have recorded there. He also does live sound at Better Than Fred's most of the time. So most of the shows here, I'm pretty sure Nathaniel is working sound.
Yeah.
Awesome dude. Was Elijah's Tomb, like they were like a death metal band, right? Or like they had that kind of a vibe?
Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
Right.
I have their CD still, but I haven't listened to it in ages.
Got it.
Yeah.
When I first got to town, somebody who, as soon as they found out that I was into metal, they said, like, have you heard of Elijah's Tomb? And I don't know if they're referring to a band or like, I don't know. I don't know what, some
new
kind
religion or something.
New religion, like a, like a book that I should read, like they have friends and I should come visit their friends in Elijah's Tomb. I don't know. But they had the CD in their car. They put it on, and, I remember thinking like, this is a band in Grande Prairie. Yeah. I love this. Like, wow, this is like a real heavy metal band.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever saw them play live or met Nathaniel until years later. But I remember that Elijah's Tomb. That was super cool.
I think I saw them a few times because like a lot of the shows that were put on at the Gaiety were like at least nominally like Christian shows.
Right.
So they'd have like the local Christian bands and then like out of town bands come in, one or two,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1,000 Foot Crutch. That's like a Christian rock band. They played here.
Really?
Once. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I remember that because I didn't know who 1,000 Foot Crutch were. Plus, Crutch is spelled with a K.
Yeah.
So that always stuck in my mind. Like, oh man, these guys are serious. They spell Crutch with a K.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. I forgot about that actually. There was like a strong scene of, however we want to describe it, like Christian music, like rock bands who are Christian rock bands or metal bands who are Christian metal bands. And that's like a strong circuit because I remember a lot of bands came through because they were part of that scene, I guess, or that touring circuit. Okay, well, that's interesting. When did you take the leap from playing music to like writing music? Did you start writing music, or did you like get into playing in bands and then start writing music?
I pretty much just started like, I don't know, after I started playing guitar, just coming up with like random riff ideas that weren't very good, and then just doing it over and over again over time and getting less not good at it. I hope.
You know what? I think that's the path we all follow. One day you realize like, oh, instead of playing this thing that exists already, I can change it.
Yeah.
Right on. Very cool. What were some of the early bands that you were with, or what was the first band maybe that you were a part of?
So the first band I was a part of was with Cam Skip and Jordan Grubasic, and it was called Hated Gem back in like 2008. Wow. Hated Gem is also an anagram for Megadeth, by the way.
That's amazing. I was wondering about that. Like, what is a hated gem? Like,
yeah.
Does this refer to the cartoon gem? Like, is it really just like the diamond industry? I don't know. What kind of music was it?
It was like very, very much inspired by like new wave of British heavy metal, like Iron Maiden.
No way. Okay.
That kind of
budgie
bands. Yeah.
Awesome. How long did that band last? Like how, were you like one of the founding members, like how did all that go down?
Yeah, I'd say like Skip was like the leader of the band for sure. And it was like probably seriously practicing for like a year or something like that. I think we only played one show at GPRC though.
Okay, gotcha. Who did you play with at GPRC? Who else was on the bill? Was it like a... was it like an open mic kind of thing?
No,
or it was like a show?
It was actual show with...
Cool.
It was like the band that... Jules the Prairie. I think they were called Mang. Was the name
Yes.
of the band at the time.
Jules on bass, Joel Morgan.
Yeah. Yep, Joel.
On guitar and vocals. I think Jules did vocals as well. And Chris Murphy, right? On drums.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Chris Murphy. He's back in town now. I saw him playing drums with Mark Brazier not too long ago. But, man, I remember that band. Chris is an excellent drummer, man. He's so good. And actually, Jules is an excellent bass player. And those guys had a lot of fun, I recall. Cool. Okay. Mang. I remember that. They played some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Originals, some covers, a lot of funky stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Nice. How many songs did you have with Hated Gem? Like, did you guys have a ton of original material?
Not a ton.
Did you play covers as well?
Yeah, we played a couple covers, and I think we only had like 5 or 6 originals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was doing the bulk of the songwriting? Was
Pretty
it
much
like everyone? Or okay.
I was like contributing some riffs, but he was the main songwriter for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of, what kind of writing was it? Like, what kind of themes, were discussed in the music? Or like, was it like a band that had like a message? Like, because often like people who are songwriters, they have like a deal. You know what I mean? Like their music is inspired by this, and so maybe it manifests in their lyrics in some way.
I guess the themes were similar to a lot of other like heavy metal bands.
Okay.
I
got it.
I think you'll have to like have Skip on to ask him like his specific headspace that he was in.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, you guys weren't like a political band like Rage Against the Machine or something, or
not like explicitly.
I understand. I got you. Cool. What happened to that band?
Just we sort of went our own ways with other stuff, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Were you guys still in high school at the time, or was that like a post-high school band?
Yeah, like I would have been like just having graduated grade 12.
Okay.
At the time, so Skip was a year behind me, and Jordan was like 1 or 2 more years behind.
Okay.
So yeah.
Got
pretty
it.
much.
Okay. What did you do after graduating high school?
So pretty much like I went to the GPRC I joined their like engineering program and then promptly dropped out after one semester.
Right.
And
You're an alum like John Mayer is an alum of Berkeley. I understand. I did the same thing.
and band-wise, I joined another band called The Sickness Within.
Oh, okay. All that happened right around that time.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So The Sickness Within has come up before with, did we just talk about this at the beginning of this chat? I can't remember if it was like our pre-chat or this.
I think it was before we started rolling.
Before we started rolling. All right. Even if we touched upon it at the beginning, The Sickness Within, I remember you guys sounded like, I don't know.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, we did talk about this.
That was, okay, that was on camera or on mic. It's all good. I had a moment too, because like we touched on some of this stuff before.
But yeah.
Cool.
We went back, and now we're getting back to there. So
man, okay, that's
happened. Why it's confusing,
right? It's like in Spaceballs. Like, when was then? What was that? That was just then. When will then be now? Soon.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that was The Sickness Within. How long were you in that band for?
Maybe like a year, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the band disband? Like
pretty
before
much.
Jordan moved over to Calculating Collapse, and so did you? Or
I think it was like pretty inactive at that point.
Oh, okay.
And then like Jordan joining Calculating Collapse was kind of like just the nail in the coffin.
Oh no. Gotcha. How did that go down? Was that one of those things where, maybe like you guys were chilling for a bit and then Jordan mentioned that he was joining Calculating Collapse, and then you guys were like, screw these guys?
I wasn't angry about it or like resentful or anything, but I can't speak for everyone.
No, of course.
I don't think anyone really was.
Got it. Well,
I think we were pretty inactive at that point already. Like we had played like 2 shows after I had joined the band, and we recorded some demo songs and just we're just kind of hanging out mostly.
You guys recorded, were there demos with John on vocals before, or were the only Sickness Within demos the ones with you on vocals?
They might have recorded some demos with John, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
If they did, they were probably just like live one mic takes.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then the recording that you guys did, those were like multi-layered.
Yeah, that was like
whole things.
multi-tracks.
Yep.
We set up a bunch of stuff in Kevin Biggs's basement and recorded the drums with a bunch of mics, and none of us knew what we were doing, so we did a terrible job of it. So the drum sound is just awful.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Recording is tough though. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do.
That was like me and Jordan and Kyle just pretending we suddenly knew how to record and just deciding to go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It has to start somehow. It has to happen in some way. That's really interesting. How soon after that did you join Calculating Collapse? Because you joined in 2009.
Yeah, so it would have been like the fall of 2009.
Yep.
I just pretty much joined to go on the eastern part of the tour that you guys were doing, because you did the tour in multiple stages.
Yeah.
And after one of the stages, Jason couldn't continue on the tour. So you were looking to, not have to cancel the tour.
Yeah.
So you were looking for someone to go on that tour with you. And I got asked to do it. So that's pretty much it. Nice.
What made you like hop on that? Because going on tour, it's not a small thing. Like fronting a band and going on tour is not a small thing either.
Yeah, it just seemed like a really cool opportunity, and like Calculating Collapse seemed like the most serious like GP band that I knew of. So to be asked to play shows with Calculating Collapse was like a big honor.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I remember we finished the BC leg, or like the Western Canadian leg of the tour. We had a show in Edmonton, and then we came back. And I mean, I feel like we had a week of practicing with you, and then we hit the road heading out east. Is that kind of how it went down?
Yeah.
What was the process like, learning the songs and getting into it?
Yeah, I guess I you've gone over this with other people on the other episodes, but like you had recorded an album to put out on a record company, right?
Oh, right. The Torque Records fiasco.
This unreleased album,
Yes.
I had a copy of it.
Oh, okay.
So
there you go.
I had listened through the songs a bunch of times already.
Right.
And
Understood.
I just like got given the lyrics and just learned them. That's pretty much it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I mean, I remember the whole thing just working out as well as it could, given the circumstances. We were trying to figure out what to do at the time. Somebody suggested that I should like do vocals, or me and Jordan should split vocals and play guitar at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not a person like Dave Mustaine who can play like metal rhythms parts and also do some kind of vocal thing.
Yeah.
So it was tough. And then it turned out that you were able to do it and you wanted to do it and it was all going to work out. Mm-hmm. And then that was great. What was the first Calculating Collapse show that you performed on?
I think it was on the road in Brandon, Manitoba.
Opening for Textbook Tragedy?
Yeah.
That was the one. Man, I remember that as being a really good show. I don't know if it was because we were like super awesome or because it was the first show with you and everything worked out really well.
Yeah, I think it just worked out well, and it was like a nice, like, small venue. It was like a community center or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember, I don't know if it's still the case now. Maybe I'm just like completely disconnected, but I remember that there were a lot of all ages shows in like these community centers.
Yeah.
When I moved here to Grande Prairie, there were a lot of all ages shows that happened. And I don't know, maybe it still happens. Maybe I just, I'm like old and I've like
Maybe we
leveled
just
out.
don't know about them anymore.
Yeah, exactly. No one invites us.
Yeah.
God. It's okay.
Damn it.
Man, it's funny. Anytime I talk about that particular leg of the tour with Calculating Collapse, it's always like bittersweet because we had like a lot of things that worked out and then like a ton of shows that just fell through, sometimes at the last minute, which is a real bummer. But what was it like being on the road for you?
It was a little like dirty,
Yeah, of course.
having a shower once in a while.
I know, man. I know.
And,
Crammed into the van.
But it's like sort of uncomfortable, but like there's like a nice sense of like camaraderie,
Right.
I guess.
Right.
But it was also
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, so
Of course. I know.
so maybe looking back with like rose tinted glasses.
I'm sure. I remember tense moments on tour. Like it's always one of those things where there's the entire gamut of the human experience. Like it's great, and then it's the opposite of great. It's terrible, and then it picks up again.
Yeah.
It's all good. Talk to me about like being about playing shows, like suddenly becoming a front person for a band. What was it like, going to new places and like trying to engage with audiences who are like total strangers?
I don't know. I don't remember it being that weird to like try to play a show in front of a crowd of strangers in a
Right.
different town than it
Yep.
is here. Because like even playing at a random place in my hometown here, I don't know most of the people who are watching. So it's
That's
like
a good point.
you kind of just have to get used to it
Yeah.
right away, or just just that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
get used to it.
We're already on the road, so I guess we're just gonna have to do the thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I hear you, man. We ended the tour in Toronto because we had shows on the East Coast, but then our Quebec dates fell through, and so we just couldn't justify having zero money to begin with, and then spending negative money to go all the way to the East Coast, and then not having any money for reals in order to drive back. So I remember we played a bunch of shows, and then we ate pizza in like a Boston Pizza in Toronto, like parked in a parking lot. And it was like, okay, well, that's the end of tour, I guess. And then we came back home. What happened after that? We had a couple of shows after we got home, yes?
Yeah, we played, I think we played at least one here at Fred's.
Yep.
We played one at the York Hotel before it got knocked down. Because we
That's
played a
right.
Halloween show, I remember.
That's right.
And we played in Edmonton with All Else Fails. Is that the only three?
I think so.
Okay.
What did we do here at Better Than Fred's? Was it like an all age, like an all else fails like show trade, or did someone else come here?
Maybe it was with them. I don't remember at all.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I totally forgotten about that show at the York. The York Hotel is still standing, but it's shut down.
Wait, what?
Because of the York? Isn't
Now?
it? Yeah.
No, the York's gone.
The York's
park's
gone.
still there.
The park.
We played in the York.
played
The
in the
York's
York.
been knocked down already.
The York was across the street from the park. Or was it elsewhere?
The York was across the street pretty much, or like diagonally across the street from the current location of the farmer's market, I think. It's like a parking lot now, I think.
Oh, man.
I don't think there's another building there.
Got it. Okay. I'd forgotten about that completely. That's right. Yeah, I guess we would have played in a building full of asbestos or something, or whatever the legend is.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Maybe we're entitled to some compensation at some point.
That's right. Better call Bob Loblaw. Oh my gosh, what a...
Have you ever seen the movie Rashomon?
Yeah, man.
I got the impression, like, watching this series of, like, interviews that were all, like, the characters on Rashomon, like, recounting our own, like, lived experience of the same event.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point and a very good reference. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. I wonder if this is like the end of a long train of thought that has nothing to do with us and our conversation, but I was talking to somebody about like superhero movie fatigue. Not just movies, but I mean, there have been like innumerable TV shows and stuff as well. And so when I was a child, I thought it would be incredible to see superhero movies all over the place because that didn't exist when I was little.
Yeah.
But now it does. And so suddenly thinking about Rashomon after, only being connected to like Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, everything else that's coming out, Star Wars, another one. It's very refreshing. That's incredible. People should read Rashomon, I suppose, right? They should read it. They should watch it.
Yeah, I guess the movie is based on a short story called Rashomon and another short story. And it the movie's story is like a mishmash of the plots of those two stories.
Right, absolutely.
Forget the name of the other one.
I don't remember either.
It's called like In a Grove or something like that.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking Genji Monogatari, but that's a different book entirely, which is not the same thing at all.
No.
Okay, Rashomon is something else. Yeah, read these things, I guess. It's amazing. Thank you, Shaun. It is, yeah. It's funny recounting some of this stuff because, not everyone's memory is perfect, right? And, our own experiences are our own. We feel them in different ways, and so we connect with certain aspects of it. And so it's always cool to just, relive or re-remember something through someone else's recollections of the same event. That's really funny. That's deep. If there was like a DVD release of this, that's the quote that I would put on, like, Hometown Hustles, Rashomon for 2019. High praise.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Cool. Yeah, man, we totally just played those 3 shows.
Yeah.
And then that was the end of the band. The show at the York was a lot of fun. There are a couple of other like rock or metal bands who played. And it was like a Halloween show because remember we all dressed up.
I don't remember who else played.
Follow the Red.
Okay.
And I don't know if there was another band. And there must have been another band because Curtis Merriman was playing.
Yeah.
In Reject, maybe? I don't know, man. I don't remember. But it was great. We played in Edmonton and wore polo shirts. I think we've talked about this on this thing before. I thought it was fun. It was a fun thing to do. We did a thing. It's fine.
And I remember like I had made these like business cards with like a link shortener link to like download the calculating EP.
Okay.
And I just put like the dumbest like clip art picture on it. So I think like I handed them out to people, but none of them knew what it was supposed to be. On? And I don't think anyone like visited that link probably.
That's incredible. I mean, nowadays I guess that'd be like, viral marketing on some level.
But just done really badly.
Absolutely. I mean, nowadays hipsters would do that on purpose.
Yeah.
To for the effect, but just ahead of our times, Shaun. Ahead of your time. That's all. Man, and then the band ended. How did that go down? I don't know. I feel like I decided that I had to move away and some stuff like that. And
that was part of it. It was like, there was like talks of writing new material and like, writing riffs in fits and starts or something, but just like not getting anything conclusive put together. And then just you had this amazing opportunity and you just went for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
That's how I saw it anyway.
Yeah. That's about it. That's interesting. What did you do after that?
So me and Bevin were writing riffs and songs together for a year or two after that.
Yep.
Me, Bevin, and Taylor Gerlitz, really.
Right, Taylor Gerlitz,
we were
yes.
putting together some stuff.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it. Other than that, I was also playing bass in a band called Dumbstruck with Tad Hines and Kevin Biggs.
That's right.
Yeah, so Tad and Kevin have since moved to Calgary.
Yep.
And Tad's band is called Little Lamb now. But I was playing with him at that time too. Until about 2010.
2010, okay. Yeah. And Dumbstruck was like a grunge kind of band, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Grunge psychedelic sort of band. Does that
make
sense?
More like grunge / heavy metal or something. I don't know.
Right. Gotcha. Cool. You guys were in Morova. I think we covered this before tape started rolling. But did you guys play out as Morova? Did you guys play live shows?
No.
Gotcha. It was just a recording.
Yeah, it was like we'd like to put together a band to start playing shows, but it just never worked out. But
got it.
Yeah. So we just laid down some tracks with varying levels of seriousness, and then that was pretty much it.
Yeah. So remember, there was some recorded content.
Yeah.
And that was it. There was a song with like a cool breakdown that had like a bass drop in the middle of it that was disconnected to anything else.
A bass drop.
As a gag. It was like it was a song that had I don't know what else happened in the tune, but it got to a breakdown of some sort. It was like a very simple, cool breakdown. But then as a gag, there was like a bass drop right in the middle of like empty space. And then the song kicked in again.
I don't think we ever like posted that one online.
I don't think so.
I think that's one of like the half-finished ones that
I got such a kick out of that.
One of the Maurova deep cuts.
Yeah, deep cuts. We're good. We're getting pretty, man. Getting pretty deep right now, dude. That's hilarious. Maurova was. So did you and Bevin both write riffs, or was it you writing riffs, Bevin writing parts? Because Bevin's like a riff writer as well. He riffs.
I think. Yeah, we were both writing stuff.
Okay, got it. Did that lead to like Devolver or something, or after, or like after that? Did you go to the U of A?
Yeah, so I went to the U of A in like fall of 2011, and I wouldn't say that led to Devolver.
Okay.
Because Devolver is really like Devin Babcock was sort of like, he was playing in Fort St. John in another band called wrong band.
By the Beard of Zeus?
Many Are My Foes. By the Beard of Zeus.
Right.
Jeez. Shame on me.
Wait, who's Many Are My Foes?
Many Are My Foes is Brandon Bergen. Is that his name? He is in that band. I don't think I've ever heard their music, but they're one of like the. I think Jalen played with them too. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right, Jalen. That's right.
Maybe someone listening to this can like set the record straight, or I can Google it after.
In the comments. That's right. That's I don't know if anyone really ever comments on these things except like a couple of people to be like, "Hey, this is amazing. That's cool." I think my parents commented on one a couple of weeks ago. They're like, "This is nice."
Nice.
But Fort St. John people, hey, just set the record straight right now.
Anyway, By the Beard of Zeus is the name of the band that I was thinking of.
Right, and Devin was in the band.
And then he moved to Grande Prairie, and started this band with Bevin. Pretty much.
Got it.
and recorded an album with Bevin and recruited other band members.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you got back from the U of A and then joined the band?
Yeah. Well, no, I came back to GP in like 2013, and I didn't join Devolver until 2016.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. Like I was living abroad at the time, so like, you know, after 2010, you know, like I have no sense of what happened when. It's because I was like in Boston, then in Spain, and
just like
people were doing stuff here.
Question mark.
It's a big question mark, exactly. So step 1, you know, step 3, profit.
Yeah.
Big question mark in the middle. Awesome. How long did you play in Devolver for?
Pretty much like a year and a half.
Okay.
Thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What happened that ended your time in Devolver? Like, was it just like
I moved
done?
to Japan for a year.
Oh, okay. Now we get to that thing.
Yeah.
Man, what took you to Japan?
Just
wanting to travel.
Like, yeah, I got a working holiday visa, which you
okay.
can do once if you're under 30.
Yeah.
And that's just like a 1-year visa that you can go and travel and work in another country. And Canada has these like reciprocal visa agreements with a bunch of countries.
Okay.
And Japan's just one of them.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What drew you to Japan? Like, were you always interested in the culture? Did you always want to travel to Japan?
Well, like I started sort of studying Japanese in like 2013 or something, or 2012, I guess.
Okay.
And just, I don't know, I'd never lived outside of Canada before.
Oh, okay. Had you traveled outside Canada before that?
A couple times, just like the States and Germany and the Czech Republic.
Oh, right. What took you to Europe? Like just traveling, or
So,
do you guys
like,
have family there?
Yeah, I have extended family that lives in Germany. And yeah, we met some of them.
Yep.
I'd met some of them before, but yeah,
Cool.
not others.
Right, of course. And then you were in Japan.
Yeah.
Tell me about that year, man. Did you plan to stay in Japan for the whole year? Was that the intent?
I wasn't 100% sure, but yeah, sort of.
Got it. What did you do in Japan?
So just like for the first couple months, I didn't do that much.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, messing around and spending a bunch of money. And then I,
of course,
hunkered
taking
down
it all
and got
in.
a job.
Yeah. Got it.
And then just worked, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about the first couple of months. What did you do? What was, like, what was like the first thing you did in Japan? Did you go get some food? Did you walk around? Did you,
Well, like I'd been there a couple times before as just like a tourist. So I was just kind of like hanging around like the Kanto area. So like around like Tokyo and Kanagawa area.
Yep.
And yeah, just hanging out, eating some food, seeing some sights.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to ask the question because it's a tough question to answer. It's really hard. I don't want to put that pressure on you, but this is hard-hitting journalism after all, Shaun. So I feel like I have to go there. But what are some of the favorite foods in Japan? If you had to pick.
I don't know. I like most Japanese food, I guess. Yeah. I like like I think some people get into like ramen a lot. Like they're like these huge ramen aficionados, and that's not me. I don't know. I like it, but I don't really know like this is an amazing ramen broth or something like that. I guess
Gotcha.
I don't know. I like sushi and soba, stuff like that.
Cool.
I like Japanese style Chinese food too. It's a little different.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got like some different.
Tell me
like,
about it.
standards.
Okay.
Like mabo tofu. It's like Chinese spicy tofu.
Cool.
And you never see that in like Canadian style, American style Chinese food restaurants. And like anin tofu. It's like dessert. I think it's made from almonds or something.
Okay.
But it's kind of like tofu also.
Cool.
But yeah, just some interesting differences like that.
Absolutely. What were some new foods that you tried for the first time when you were there?
I've tried like, a few of them like uni, which is like sea urchin.
Yep.
Or what's it called? It's called like turban shell, but it's like a kind of like sea snail, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And
Yeah.
it looks, if you like Google image search it, it looks pretty weird, but
Right.
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds incredible. So you were there for a year. You worked, hung out, and then your time was up, and so you moved back.
Yeah.
Cool. When did you get back here?
May of this year.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, now the timeline makes sense because I remember seeing a bunch of photos of Japan, like on your Facebook or Instagram or something like that, now and again, and I didn't put it together that you were there for a whole year.
Yeah.
But now I understand.
Yeah.
Man, are you going to go back?
I don't know.
I guess maybe the question actually is, would you consider moving there to live and work, or are you happy to, like live here and then travel occasionally?
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I like it here.
Yeah, of course. That's cool, man. What are you up to these days?
Just been working.
Yep.
Like going back to school part-time.
Yeah.
Again.
Got it.
And that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You are also into photography.
Yeah.
When did you get into that?
Pretty much like maybe like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Just
Got
like bought a DSLR and then started just taking pictures of stuff. And then started like slowly descending into madness and buying more and more lenses that I didn't need.
I feel like that's the only path when you become a photographer. As soon as you get into anything involving cameras for photo or video, suddenly you just end up with like stuff. You just have to have stuff. Obviously you need different lenses because you need to do different things, right?
Obviously.
What drew you to photography?
I don't know. Just like I wanted to be able to take like technically higher quality photos of the things that I saw around me and stuff. So like mostly I just do it as a hobby, just like taking pictures of stuff when I'm traveling or like family around family gatherings or bands when I'm out at shows.
Yep.
Those are like the main things that I'm taking pictures of. So
awesome. Well, that's great. I feel like that's probably a good spot to pause our official conversation on camera. What's next for you, man? What are you up to this year, next year?
Just like school, trying to like just study some like IT related stuff. Yep. And just I don't know, keep working on that craft and
I gotcha.
Working on my photography hobby.
Yep.
That's my
are you learning more Japanese? Do you study more Japanese here or do you learn like in town or is it like do you have like Rosetta Stone or something like that?
Like my study system isn't that great, but it's just like I have like a series of textbooks and study from those and make flashcards on flashcard software.
Right.
And the flashcards is usually like a word or a sentence that contains a new grammar point or a new collocation that I want to memorize. Yep. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, it's just like consuming Japanese language media.
Ah, okay.
So just like garbage anime and stuff like that.
Got it. Are you working on writing the script as well or just speaking? And
I don't really practice writing, but I did at first a little bit, but I probably should because it helps like remember correctly like similar looking kanji and stuff.
Gotcha.
Because some like complicated kanji characters will only have like one small difference between them.
Right.
So it's like if I did have to write it by hand, I'd probably make a lot of mistakes.
Gotcha. Cool, man.
Yeah, because mostly like the writing that I do is on my PC or on my smartphone.
Oh, okay.
Just like writing like instant messages or whatever.
Understood.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that sounds amazing. Shaun, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time.
No problem.
Thank you for coming.
The pleasure is mine.
Awesome. It's always a blast, man. Yeah, I mean, thank you for coming and chatting today. That is the end of our conversation here. Like and subscribe if you wish.
Do it.
Yeah, please like and subscribe if you wish. Yeah.
Ring the bell or
that's
if
right.
that's on your platform.
Yeah, exactly. Ring the bell on YouTube. Like and share on Facebook. Thank you and good day.